Alrighty, welcome back. We're going to do the hood today, I guess. I made a mistake yesterday. I forgot what day it was. Zach will not be in until Tuesday. He'll be in tomorrow. Today's Sunday, fun day. And what's going on is I've got this actuator here. Me and Jolene picked it up, Princess Auto. I said that's one of my favorite stores. You know, things are reasonable. And we got the actuator there. I had to go in the little box, not the little box, the big box that David Burries sent me. And he had a couple actuators in there, and I got a couple brackets out of the box because I knew he sent them to me, and I want to thank you very much, David. Appreciate it. David Breeze. But what's going on is I've taken, let's show you this, what's going on here. I think you probably already know, but I'm going to show you anyways. I've taken and welded a hood on top of a hood, and I've rounded the corners on this hood. The hood used to come down here. I can't quite remember exactly, but it used to come down here. The latch was up front. I primed the piece yesterday, what the latch was on. So anyways, I had it, actually the Volvo that I started Jolene's Bugatti with, the peanut shell body part of the body I started with. This is the hood off that car, and that just goes to show you that I don't waste much. You know, I made something out of the body of the Volvo, started something with it, and then I still had the hood, so I welded the hood on top of this. And that's how it goes when you get creative. You just use the things that you have, and that's what I always do, just use the things that I have and go from there. But anyways, as I'm doing this, I've kind of destroyed the lock of the hood, or the latch of the hood. The hood, it's not there anymore. I destroyed it by cutting the front of the hood off, and that's what happens when you customize something or change something. It just snowballs one after another and after another and after another, and what has happened is I've got no latch now. So I'm just got the light here, trying to figure it out. I got the actuator here. What I want to do is what I'm thinking I want to do. I want to put the actuator down here, and it's going to come up through the piece that comes in here to close this off. And this part right here that moves of the actuator, I'm going to want that just poking through this cover piece. And what I would like to have done is I'd like to have the actuator, when it's all the way down, the hood's in the right spot. That way there, these things have quite a bit of power. And when I did the Green Goblin, I couldn't get, well, I should not say I couldn't get, but I did not put the actuators right where they should be. So when it's all the way down, the actuator's all the way down. And sometimes them actuators, you don't be careful. If you're not careful, it'll pull the old cover right in. You know, it'll bend it. And it has happened before. I'm not paying attention and someone else doing it. But anyways, this is where I'm at. So I want to make a mount for this actuator. I'd like to have maybe a button, maybe underneath the grill here or something that I can push and activate it so it goes up. This is only a 6-inch reach, I think. Extension, a 6-inch. And the only reason being is I didn't want an actuator that went all the way up, and when the hood's open, you got this actuator's way up in the air. I didn't want that. I want it to come up about 6 inches, and then I can undo the pin, because I'm going to make one of these. I'm going to have to make one of these to fit the hood. And I'm going to make it accordingly, because I just want this poking out and the pin. So when it comes up 6 inches, it'll be up about that far. I'll be able to pull the pin, and then I'll be able to lift up the hood the rest of the way. Push the button, and then I can draw this back down so there's nothing in the way, and it looks clean. And all I'll see is the head of this sticking out of the pan in the front. That's basically what I want to do. Also, I want, when this is all the way down, the hood to be in the right place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a rubber stopper. There's a corner here, a corner over there, a rubber stopper here, a rubber stopper here. And I'm going to set this up so it pulls it down so the hood is setting exactly where it should be. It can't go down any further and bend the hood or do something silly. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mount for this on the radiator support. This is the rad support. Radiator is going to be on the inside of it, obviously. And I'm going to make a mount for this. And I can see by looking at this is the top of that pan out there. I'm pretty well right in line. I'm going to pretty well go right. There's a bolt right there and a bolt right there in the rad support to bolt the inner fenders in, and why would I not use it? So I'm going to make a piece of square stock, go across, drill a hole in it, bolt it, drill a hole in it, bolt it, and then I'm going to make a mount in the center of it so I can either mount this piece I got from David Burries, or I'll make another one so it's accordingly where it has to be. I do not want this, I don't think I want the 4 screws sticking out on the top of it. I just want this piece sticking out. I'm hoping I can get it that way. So the piece that I make up in here, you can see where I welded the hood up in there. If I weld something there, I'm not going to bother the outside of the hood because it's underneath what I've welded on already. So I'll weld something on, screw comes down and pins on that nicely. That's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the piece. I got to do a couple things. I'm going to grab the piece and put it in there. We primed it yesterday. Everything looks amazing. I like it. Looks awesome. Everything looks great. Everything looks great. Haven't touched anything. Jolene looks amazing today. She woke up at 7 o'clock looking like a 10. Looking like a 10. This piece here is kind of tricky. It's tricky, this piece. Come on. I can get it in sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't want to go in. There we go. I don't want nothing too rough, if you know what I'm trying to say. If you ever want to take it out and play with it. So what's going on here is I got 2. It's going to be nutted down right here and right here. And I don't need that on there right now because I'm going to have to see what I'm doing. But I'm going to take this actuator and I'm going to show you. This I want this actuator to come through. I'm going to drill a little hole right here in the center of this thing. And I want that actuator, this piece here, to poke through that, and that's all we'll see. Then it'll be nice and clean. So I want that actuator to come up and through here like this. We'll drill a hole in there. You won't see it through the grill because it'll be down through the center of it. It'll be nice and clean. And then I can have a button over here underneath the grill or over here underneath the grill somewhere so I can just push the button up and down. Something like that. So what I'm going to do right at the present moment, I'm going to make a bracket. I'm going to take that piece back out. Set that there for a second. Went outside and got some metal. I don't throw any metal away. Just keep using it. I'm going to take this out. See, sometimes I can get that in and out of there so nice without touching anything. And sometimes it can frustrate you. Alrighty. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the grill out too just to make it easier. This is a what grill did we send for? We bought a brand new one. Jolene bought a brand new one. I got a brand new grill for $200. It was $200 for the brand new grill. This is out of the Dodge van, so it's not the Dodge truck. The Dodge truck had the emblem in the middle. Didn't want that, obviously. We got the one with no emblem, and I think it looks nice. It was something that I found going through a junkyard. I was over at Whitney Levy's junkyard. It's a junkyard. He allows you to look around once in a while if you want to. You call him and ask him. He let me look around. But I went over there and looked around one day, and this grill caught my eye. It caught my eye, and I went with it. And the reason being is, when I got this car, I didn't have that stuff. It was just a shell. That's why I'm making everything. The bumper's off a 1960 Chrysler Windsor. It's a car called the Bat Out of Hell. It's one of the first cars that I customized to impress my good buddy Gene Winfield. It was quite a while ago. Now, when I put this grill in there, what I did is, just for shits and giggles, I'll let you know, what I did is I made round rod fit all this. Round rod all around there. Then I welded tabs on the round rod. And then I've stuck it in there and welded metal to the round rod. Basically what I did. It was a basic thing. Now, as I see what I got going on here, sometimes I get in a hurry. And there you go. Alrighty, what I want to do here now is I want to make a bracket. See this? They got a bolt here and a bolt there, and I might as well use it because it's right there. I'm going to use a piece of square stock. I'm going to put this up so it don't get hurt or anything. I got a piece of square stock here. This is what I'm going to do. I got a piece of square stock, And I got this piece of angle iron, and what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this piece of angle iron on the end of that, and then I can drill a hole in there, or plasma cut a hole in there, and then I can bolt it there, and then I can lay the actuator on top of it and see where I'm going. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to get this the right length first. I'm going to cut it there. Now, a pair of glasses. Me and Jolene are taking off after we get this little bracket put in here. We're going to take off and go see a friend of ours named Ryan Dickey. He's going to sell us the 5.3 for this, and it's a good little drive, is it not? Hour and some probably, hour and a half probably, and we're going to have fun with it. With the drive. Let's clean this up a bit. 3-pronger from a fan. Thank you very much. We're going to have to get over and see our friend Jim soon. He put a custom grill in his car. That was pretty cool. You can see it if you follow Jim. He put a custom grill in his car. That was pretty cool. It's been cold out lately, and it's hard to get out around. Like when it's winter time, it really does make you hibernate. Alrighty, looking good as new. I'm going to weld a piece. Yeah, it's kind of. I'm going to weld that on there, and I'll cut that off after I weld that on there, I think. Alright, this is what I'm going to do. Turn the welder on. Sometimes it's just trying to make a decision on the fly sometimes. And that's the way it goes. Make a decision on the fly. And sometimes it's the right decision, and sometimes it's not. But if it's not, we always just come back in and fix it. That's basically what goes on every time. There's no what can I say? There's no other way for me. Try it, do it. If you like it, use it. If you don't, fix it. Nice haircut, eh? I got to thank Jolene for that. Thanks, Jolene. Give me a nice haircut. Jolene looks after me in more ways than one. More ways than one. I'm going to turn this thing around. Leave it like that. Not hurting me none. Just gonna plunk that on the end there. The secret to that, welding that, is to, where I got the ground, hit this piece first, and then go on that piece. If I hit this piece, generally the wire will shove this away because it's not quite grounded sometimes. Not all the time, sometimes. But that's what I usually do, just so you know. We're just going to tack it all on. I'm going to cut that off. Put another piece on the other side. Put a little hole in that. Cut this off here. This is what I'm looking for. So I'm trying to do this as quick as possible. Show you what I'm doing. So I can drill a hole in that piece now and fit that in there. And then I can weld another piece on the other side and drill a hole in that piece. And that way there, not bad. We'll just do another one. Not bad. Da, 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 da. Straight to me. Well done, Chetty. Well done. Gotta thank everybody for the kind words. A lot of kind comments lately. What's going on there? Take that off. Need a 1/2-inch sock. Coming out. Take that out. Good. Gotta like it when things come out nice. Gotta like it. Yeah, let's take it. I knew it would take off in the end, wouldn't it? Take off in the end, it would. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a screwdriver in that, pry that back, and then I'll be able to get at that. Need a screwdriver. Matter. What happens is sometimes them take off, just like so. Takes off. what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one in the bottom one so that this stays lined up. I want to be able to... Ooh. Stay lined up on this side because it's got a bolt down here, and we'll put them all in before we're done. Just want to see if we got enough. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that looks good. So we're going to put a hole in this. We'll get it nutted. Plasma cutter right behind you, sweetheart. Yes, me and Jolene going on a little road trip today. That's always fun. We get to go out on the road a little bit. Gonna have to turn the air on. We're going to the Motorama Custom Car and Motorsport Expo, March 11th, 12th, and 13th in Ontario. We'll be there all 3 days. If you want to buy tickets and come meet us, it's, how do you say? MotoRamaShow.com. Wow. Can't get that in my mouth sometimes, you know that? MotoRamaShow.com. Buy your tickets. We'll be there all 3 days. We'll be meeting fans, taking pictures, signing autographs, handing out awards, selling t-shirts, hats probably, and we'll be talking on the stage. It'll be our first time there. Come meet us. I think Henry is close by, is he not? Henry, yeah, Henry's close by. And Henry's the man that is the air ride guy. Thanks, Henry! We got some of the new tools gathered. Jolene got some of the new tools rocking and rolling there. We had some new tools that we haven't used yet. I'm the kind of guy that generally don't break something out until it's needed. And we have a Milwaukee drill over there. Oh, didn't even turn it on. Didn't even put the air to it. I'm talking too much. Alrighty. This car, I didn't get a bunch of stuff with it, and that's why sort of it turned into a custom. If I tried to make this all original and get it going back the way it was before, I'd have spent thousands and thousands of dollars gathering up the pieces. But what happens is I've just come to creative, like I say, using the pieces that you have, and all the pieces that I had were in the dooryard, in the scrap yard. And that's how I do it. Ground. Just want to make it just right. You know, like the Three Bears? Just right. Oh, sorry. Alrighty. I'm going to have to maybe put this one on. I got a bolt right there. That wouldn't come out easy. This one will. We'll use the easiest one. That's what I like to do. Make it easy as possible. Bolt that on. See, I don't know if I went over too far. Or maybe yeah, I'm going to bring it over just a little bit more. I'm just going to slot the hole a little bit, that's all. I'll just slot this side. That's what you call a fuse. That's generally why I don't plug it in there, but we're just doing a little bit, so. Ba, 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 ba. Which one is it? No, that isn't it. Here we go. Let's have a couple bid. Yep. All right, I'm just going to knock that out just a little bit more so I can get a bolt through it. Hopefully I can get it before it frigs off on me. Alrighty. Hoping that I got that right. Ba-ba-ba. Stayed in place, that's good. Look at that. It's better slotted, and I can move it back and forth. That's good. I don't know if it needs to be tight or not, but it can be, I suppose. These are all fine thread on these cars, and just kind of set that in place. Setting that in place for now. Sort of cross thread it there a little bit. It does. I'm not going to force it. But now we have that piece in there. Let's get the actuator. And what I'm going to do is, I would never want to plan it sideways. I got to do the exact same thing I did on Jolene shocks, and on the front end, this has got to be able to, pivot this way, and we'll make it pivot this way. So it's on a pivot. So if we go there, that is, look at that now, would you? That piece lays on top of that. I'm going to take a piece of square stock. Too long? Nope. So, if you come on this side, sweetheart, we know we're pretty close because, and it's on top of this, we have to go with this line, not this line here. We're going with this line. And this here is above. You can see it's above it. But it's going to have to come a little bit further because of, I would say it's going to come up about there. So, what I'm going to do is to drill a hole in that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to weld a bracket, something on this, or I could make another one of these the right size, to bring it up a little bit further. I can take and move this, make a piece of this and put it up there like that, and cut a little piece off. So this bracket can sit on top of this and have it, so it's the right adjustment. I can make a little piece, weld that on there. It wouldn't go anywhere. Weld it down this side, down. Didn't have 6 hands. Didn't have 6 hands. So I can weld it. If I put it in here like this, I could weld it down this side, and wherever I cut it this side, and then I could weld it across the back. It would never go anywhere. So I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to make it a little bit wider than what's going on there. I'm going to cut a piece off that. I'm just going to tack it on there because That's the way it goes. We're just going to tack it on there. And that way there, I can cut it back off. Pair of vice grips. I got my clickers on today. That means by my boots. Got my clickers on today. When I first got onto the internet, and that was just before I met Jolene, I'd first get on the internet. I come across Jesco White from, I'm not sure where it's from now, down south in the United States. Jesco White, he was a famous dancer, and it's quite something else, you know. Kind of took me back there for a while. Reminded me of just taking the corners off it. Taking the corners off it. The bracket's a little bit longer, but it does not matter, I don't think. So, what I'm doing here is, I don't know if I want them, I think I want the motor. This is the motor. Ooh. Ooh. So I'm using this as a guide, I guess, is what I'm using that as. Just for trying it, see what happens. So I'm saying, right about there somewhere. It's pretty crazy how that works out. When I put it up there, it felt like it was flush right there, right at the bottom. It felt it was flush and right. I'm going to put it in the center of this, center of the grill, and I'm going to tack it on. And then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to go over and get that piece, set it on top there, and I might drill a little hole in it. We're on air. Hurry, baby, we're on air. Well, I'm on my boots, but we'll be on air tonight. I'm going to turn the plasma cutter off. Got to be careful, that sort of stuff. Hit that trigger, and it goes off. It'll burn a hole in you. So, I'll put that on there. Ground. I'll vice grip this on just so it's not hot. I like the C-clamps on that thing because it'll hold it nice and flat on there. Got to thank the guy from Thailand sent them to us. Man, we got a lot of good fans. We got a lot of good fans. Over a little tiny bit. And I do this stuff by eye a lot. Why not? Looks good. What's the difference? As long as it looks good. long as it looks good. Jolene looks good. Hey, baby. Jolene looks good. All right, I'm just going to tack that on there. I just flushed it out on the bottom. And not quite, let's flush her up a little bit better. Just going to tack it on. We also have adjustment because I slotted this out, so this goes back and forth a little bit. Well, no, I got that tight there, obviously. But there we go, we got that on there. Now, actuator. Turn that off. Take my glasses off for a second. Now, I'm saying, all right now, would you? Not bad, not bad. Now I can take my vice grips and vice grip this on. Put the motor out front because we've got the radiator going in there. I can take these bad boys off. I can put that right there somewhere. Quite in the center. Pretty level there. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. And when if I mount it, if it comes out here like this, when the hood comes up, it's obviously going to come back a little bit, so then it gets to pivot, right? Got to pivot. And learned that with the shocks in there. I learn it every time. I know it, but I remember every time. So let's do for shits and giggles. Let's see if we're in center, just for something to do. See how good the eye is. I like to check it out every once in a while. 20.5. Look at that. 10.25. 20.5. 10.25. Look at that, baby. Whoop, 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 whoop. Right on. If you want to take a look at her. Alrighty. So what we're going to do is, and we're going to take that off. Nope. We're going to put that on. And we're going to have to measure center. And then we'll drill a hole in that bad boy, I guess. Got to think about this for a second. Got to think about this for a second. Get our piece. Now, this is the piece that I have to hold my tongue right to get it in there. Sometimes it goes right in, and other times I struggle. Now, I'm just going to grab a couple, should be a couple right there, a couple bolts right here. I put some crown penetrant on a couple. They seem to work just a little bit better. All right. And also, this piece can move, obviously. They've got them slotted, so I had no problem slotting ours. You can see how we're down on top of that. Let's get our actuator. So I basically want to know where I got to drill that hole. I guess in the center, I guess, and then see if we can get it. Can't have it back too far. It's pretty close to that bar there. It really is. Make it come ahead as far as we can. So on the roll, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to drill a hole in it, I guess. Got to start somewhere. Bum, bum, bum. I'm going to guess again. Inside screw it in, guys. That's not center. Inside that piece. What is? Looks center looking down, but that doesn't mean anything. Does it, baby? That doesn't mean a damn thing. Yeah, it looks center to me. And what I'm doing is I'm looking down through this, into this, and straight up to that. I'm going to take a measurement here. We're at 15 and a half. 15 and a half, so it would be 7 would be 14. 8 and 3/4. 8 and 8, 16. 7 and 3/4. Woo! Look at the rate on the money. Come take a look. 7 and 3/4. It's right there. And there's the hole. Let's drill it. I'm going to use a drill because I got the primer on it, and then I'll die grind it out. I know I don't like using a drill, but I got a drill right there. I got a little punch somewhere here, I think. I did have. Now, I'm just going to make it, I want it over, up here as close as I can. And this corner, I noticed that it's, give it a little bit of, excuse me, sweetheart. Try that one first, see if it works. Put my goggles back on. I'm basically, what can I say? Basically, I don't like drills generally, and the reason being is I'm not patient enough to run them slow like that. That's what it takes to be patient and run them slow because, you know, so they drill good. Usually I'm on, give it right to her, and it doesn't work out that good. But we're just going to go slow for this one. And generally, something has to mess up when I use a drill, so there you go. We're in place. I can see it down there. I can see it. I'm going to take the die grinder and die grind the rest of it out. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use the air. I'm going to find the die grinder now. Oh, flour over there. Okay. Click, 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 click. Thank you, sweetheart. Jolene Sharp, like a tack. Bum, 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 bum. Air going. Now, if I can get that actuator up and through there, setting on top of that, we'll vice grip it there, get the actuator, get that poking up through there, the head of it. Then the next step will be getting inside and then making a bracket exactly like that, so it can pivot, so we can go this way, so it can pivot. Making a bracket to fit that hood, to come down and fit that, because like I said, I want this to be all the way down when the hood's down. And it's going to take a little bit, but to me, it seems a little quicker than trying to get a hood latch off a car and trying to put something on here. It takes quite a bit of work to do that stuff. I'm going to put earphones on. Earphones. Right there. Why not? Ah. Whoop, whoop. Just so I know somewhat how big to make this bad boy. I'm off there a bit, but close. Hopefully. Just kind of wondering. Ha! My bracket's a little too high. Actually, maybe not. And the reason I'm saying that, because that can come down. Oh, I'm on the wrong. Yeah. What I'm seeing right now, it's not going to give it much pivot if I do it that way, though. Just going to vice grip that on for a second. That'll come down tight. Yeah, it doesn't give it much pivot if I do that. I might need to That's fine though. This can be turned around. I got this piece. This piece is going way out here. I can turn this piece around to go in further. This is shorter on this side. You can see where the center of this is. That's not going to be turned that way anyway. I could turn that, that's why it's like that. Let's see here. Let me see. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Now we're cooking with gas. Yeah, that piece can come in there. Fits in there real good now. That's basically what I'm looking for. That can be bolted down, bolted down. It does not give it no pivot though, really. We're only coming up so far. It would give it pivot at the top. I can make this hole a little bit bigger in here, which I probably will. Got this hole fitting pretty tight there. But we're right where we need to be. I'm lucky here. You can see on the front here that the motor's just like, I got a finger gap there. That's nice. Can't have that sticking out that way for the radiator, I wouldn't think. If I'm talking loud, it's because I got earmuffs on. So basically what I'm going to do is, you want to get in there and me shut the hood down so you can see what it does? What? What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump inside and I'm going to throw the hood down just to see basically what I've got to do. Yeah. So basically what I've got to do now is I've got to get inside the hood, bring the hood down. Jolene's going to let me know when. You're not going to be able to see it, are you? I'll see and let you know. You can see when the hood comes down. I'm going to get in and let it down, just so I know. I want to know. I want to know right now, before we go any further. Do you love me? All right. I can make this hole bigger at any time. I got my foot stuck. Okay, I can make that hole bigger at any time. Goodbye, Oscar the Grouch. Tell me when the hood's fitting good, baby. Got to come up a little bit? Here, but there? So, I've got a bracket that I've got to make. I'm going to mark it too. Just like the bottom here, I'm going to make a bracket just like this one down here. I'm going to make it's right there. I'm probably, I'll say, 3 inches from the hood. So I've got to make a 3-inch bracket that comes down like this one. I'm going to make it, weld it to the hood, and I'll bring it down so it pins to this shaft, and then it should work fine. This is kind of turned down just a little. You can see it's turned down just a little bit. That's fine. I'll probably make this hole up here a little bit bigger so there's movement. I've got to have a little bit of movement. Other than that, looks great. I think it's going to work just fine. We're in the center. That looks good. So I guess it's a matter of making a bracket to fit the hood. I've marked it where the bracket's going to be. So it's going to be like a little bit of in and out, like the burger joint, the in and out. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to make that a little bit more pronounced, make it a little bit bigger. I've got a spot I've marked on the hood. Where did I mark it? You can see right here where these two holes are, where the hood emblem used to be, right there in the center. I'm going to make a bracket just like this one. I'm going to make it just like this one. Thank you, David Breeze, just like this one. But it's going to have to be about 3 inches long. So what I'm going to have to do, or what I'm going to do, I'll probably make it out of cardboard or Bristol board first. I'll make the bracket, and I'll make it fit this. And then I'll know the size when I get out. You know, I'll just draw something and put a hole in it so it pins it to it, so it's close. And that's basically what I'm going to do for a hood opening. That's basically what I'm going to do. It seems the easiest way possible to make the hood go up and down. I also have to have, I'm going to have something over here. I'm going to bolt this down nice and tight and right. Bolt that down. There's going to have to be we're going to have our hood. There's usually a rubber right there that you can adjust up and down. Hood, I don't know what you call it, a hood rubber, I guess, to hold it for the right distance. So we'll have to get something going on there, get it glued on there, bolted on there or something. Make this a little bit bigger and make a bracket for underneath there with a button out front. I like to have a button maybe by the grill. I don't really want it inside the car because, you know, why do I have to have it inside the car? It'd be kind of nice to have something, bring it up, open, to pull the pin out, open the rest of the way up. That'd be great. And it's the easiest way that I know to make the hood prop up. Once I get that done, then the hood can come off and be block sanded on the top, and the underneath can be all done just like the trunk lid. I think we got enough primer on that to say we could paint the underneath of it, and we'd be able to block the top, and it'd be fine. But yeah, so it's just a little more tinkering, and we'll go from there. Alrighty. So we're going to give away a hat or a shirt. We're going to give away a hat or a shirt. I want to let everybody know on the YouTube that Jolene puts quite a bit of content on Facebook if you want to go on there and see it. And what she's doing mostly is mainly for the phone. She's doing it for the phone. We find that we're getting a lot of people on there. Actually, this month, are we reaching like 15 million people on Facebook? Wow. Wow. All right. That's good. Close to it anyways. 14.7. Hard to believe, eh? Hard to believe. But I know there must be that many people in the world that would like to build a car the most reasonable way they could, you know. There's more people that can afford it than can. And basically that's it. And what I'm trying to show is that you can play with the big boys with a little bit of creativity. I'm happy with that. I've got to die grind that hole out a little bit more. When we get the louvers set in there, I got to do some work with the louvers. Tomorrow, say tomorrow, I'll probably end up making that bracket or whatever. But I have a steering column here in the corner. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it or not. There's a stainless steel steering column there. I generally buy them. I did it steering columns because you can buy them for, you know, $150, and you can have a brand new stainless steel steering column that you can, you know, put in your ride and mock up wherever you want to. And I can't, like the steering column sitting beside it. I can't sandblast it, sand it, paint it, chrome the top of it, make it look nice for the same amount of money. I can't do it. And it just seems like an easy way to set it up. It does, it does, it does. How many comments, sweetheart? 323 comments. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate it. We're just going forward. We're happy to be back, and that's what we are. We're happy to be back. We're just going to keep cruising on things. You know, tomorrow, you never know. Like, I don't know, tomorrow's Monday, is it not? I'm probably going to wait till Tuesday to take the engine out of the Bugatti chassis. So we'll probably end up, I might put the dash back in the car and say, you know, sort of mock up that steering column, show how I'm going to do that. Because this car is a one-piece car, that steering column and that steering box, you'd have to take that apart to get your car off. And that's what I want to be able to do. I want to get that steering column off and be able to get that apart to do that. Jesse Ford. Jesse Ford. Got a good name anyways. Thumbs up. Oh, you give me a thumbs up. You know what? I am the thumbs up kind of guy because I do not write anybody on the computer. I do not write anybody. I just don't take the time to do it because I'm not interested. I'm not good at it. I'll talk to anybody. I'll talk to anybody on the telephone generally. If I answer it, but I haven't been there. I just stay busy, but I do not talk on the computer. I give thumbs up and I give a like. That's about it. If you get that out of me, that's basically all I do. And if you don't get that out of me, everything must be great. Thumbs up to you, Jesse. You won a hat or a shirt of your choice. And thanks for watching. We appreciate it. I just want to show this little bad boy here. I have not used this yet, and the reason being is we're still doing good on what we have. But this bad boy is brand hammer new. Have not used it yet. It's a plasma cutter. This thing has got a built-in air compressor. You do not need an air compressor to get a Lincoln plasma cutter. And I like this little thing here. It's kind of nice. You can, cut nice straight lines with it. But it does not. It has its own air compressor. Crazy. Generally, you have to have the air compressor, have the plasma cutter, and that causes a fuss sometimes. But that thing has got a built-in air compressor. You can't beat it. Good thinking, Lincoln. Peace out, everybody. Come back tomorrow and we'll do something.